Welcome to the Record Player, everybody. Scott back with you. Very happy to be joined today by the recent CMA Ontario Rising Star Award winner, Rising Star, not Store, Star Award winner, and CMA Award nominee again this year for Male Artist of the Year. He is a former winner of the Boots and Hearts Country Music Festival Emerging Artist Award. His music has amassed over 4 million streams worldwide to date, and he has a new record coming out later this summer. Welcome to the Record Player, Toronto's own David Boyd Janes. How are you, Dave?
Thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate that. But I have to tell you, unfortunately, I did not win the Rising Star Award. My good buddy Aaron Allen won it. Oh. I was nominated, but I do appreciate that intro.
No problem at all. For a guy who hasn't been able to do a lot of traveling and performing and stuff, you've had a hell of a busy year. How have you been keeping busy? Obviously, with everything going on, the record and all that stuff.
I think with the pandemic being what it is, no one can really prepare, for such a thing. And I think regardless of what happens or what's going on in the world, we have to keep ourselves safe first and foremost, and find ways to just move around obstacles. It's super important to just stay motivated and keep going. And I think that's something that has definitely been challenging for a lot of artists, including myself, just to stay motivated when, you're not surrounded by the fans or doing shows. But I mean, I truly love what I do, and I have no problem spending all my time doing it. So I have a record coming out in July, and I've been really busy writing. It's kind of funny, actually, because we're in the process of recording and we're still writing songs. I have a song right tonight. I got 2 more, a couple coming up this week. So, we're ahead.
Does that change during the process? Like if you're in there and you've got your 10 songs that are going to be on the record, by the time you go in and start recording, do you have like 5 of those are replaced by other songs by the time you're done?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my producer, Jeff Delzeel, he always tells me it's never too late to replace a song. So just keep writing, keep working on the music. And, if we end up doing something that, writing something that replaces a current song on the record, as long as we haven't recorded it, then we can cut it. So the process is always growing.
Fluid. I just want to give everybody an idea of kind of how we got here. A few years ago, you had the rest of us, a real job, and you decided, it's now or never. Screw it. I am gonna let go of this job, and I'm gonna concentrate on my music full time. How scary of a concept was that when you made that decision?
I think what was scarier to me was realizing that I was 33 years old and I wasn't on the right path. That was the scarier thought. I truly believe that every single one of us has a gift, whether it's connecting dots, management, singing, dancing, drawing, selling furnaces, whatever it is, we all have a gift. And there was a few things that happened in my life that kind of pumped the brakes and made me have a reality check. And I've been often asked the question, did you really sit on a bench and make this decision, or is that just to make the story cool? And no, that's the truth, man. I was literally sitting on a bench on Marine Parade Drive in Toronto. I call it my gratitude bench. And I was sitting on the bench with a coffee and a carrot oat muffin from Lola's Gelato. And
shameful plug.
Yeah, and they still don't give me anything for free. So and I just said, I'm going for it, and I think the trick is to not think too much about what it is you truly want to do. Whatever your passion is, if you sit and think about it, you will find a million reasons not to do it. We joked about it with my parents, because I was freshly out of a relationship, And we joked about, going on eHarmony and creating a profile to try and, meet someone new. And how ridiculous does it sound? Hi, my name is David and I'm 33, living at home with my mom and dad, trying to become a country star. It just sounds ridiculous, but it's not about that at all. It's just about, I love music. And, it's not about becoming a star. It's not about becoming anything other than just following your passion. And I'm lucky and grateful. I'm not lucky. I'm grateful and fortunate that the stars lined up to allow me to now do this full time, and not have to sell furnaces anymore. So I think the scariest thing was just, wow, I'm 33 and my passion is music and I'm selling furnaces. What the hell am I doing?
End up doing something you don't want to do.
Yeah. And I think as we get older, we realize like we got bills to pay. We got to pay a mortgage or I mean, when I sit down now and I think about everything that's happened, and a brand new artist comes up to me and says, "Hey, like, do you have any advice for people starting out?" I always say, "Well, what's your why? Why do you want to do it?" And if the person responds with, "What do you mean?" then I tell them they're in the wrong business. I eat, sleep, breathe, think. Everything I do revolves around music, literally everything except for fishing. But you have to be obsessed with the process. You have to, that's all I think about. I mean, I'm sure I drive people in my family crazy, because it's just nonstop music. I don't know anything else. And I think to have a shot in this business, you really need to, it just needs to be everything that you do and everything that you think about.
I want to talk a bit about the Boots and Hearts. You won that contest, the Rising Star contest for Boots and Hearts.
Emerging Artist Award, yeah.
Sorry. The Boots and Hearts, that kind of opened up the floodgates for you when it came to what the next steps in your career. And you wound up recording. Is that where you recorded "Couldn't Hurt"?
Yeah, I record "Couldn't Hurt" was the leading single after winning Boots and Hearts. Yeah.
I'm not sure chronological. That's a great song, by the way. I'm not
Thank you.
This country fan by any stretch, but the country music that I like is about drinking beer and being at a bar and partying and that kind of stuff. So I love that song. You find yourself in Nashville writing, which must have just been surreal, being in Nashville writing with professional writers and that kind of stuff. Chronologically, I don't know about the order of the song that wound up. You had a song called "Ready for a Good Time" that wound up being on the Montana's commercials. How did that whole process come about?
Well, my first write down in Nashville happened before I won Boots and Hearts.
Okay.
And I took my dad down with me, which was a really cool experience for the both of us. And I ended up in a write with Jason Matthews, really amazing writer. And that was set up prior to me going down to Nashville. So I had all these writes that I had arranged and then I just went down to meet these people that I didn't know. And I went in the room to work with Jason, and he wanted to write a slow song that day. And I just wasn't into it. I wanted to write something about having fun and getting ready for a good time. And as cheesy as the story goes, he was literally playing this slow song and asking me my opinion, and I was sitting there afraid to tell him, I wasn't feeling it. I wanted to write something completely different, because he's this big shot writer. He's got number ones, posted all over the wall of his studio, all these records and people he's worked with. And who am I, some kid from Toronto, to come down there and tell him how it's going to go, you know? But I just kind of thought, in this business, you got to have a voice, and you got to speak up. And if you're not happy with something, or you want to, you know, express your feelings, you can't be afraid to do that. And so I just said to him, I said, hey man, I love what you're doing, you know, but I'm fresh out of this relationship. I don't want to write about love. I just want to write about having a good time. And I remember him asking me, well, then what do you want to write? And I said, I just want to write a song about getting ready to have a good time. That's exactly what I said. And and he had this little drum machine. He had this little drum machine that wasn't working because he wanted to oh, 1 second here, buddy. I just realized something. Here we go. He had this little drum machine that wasn't working, and we were trying to get a drum beat, and he started kicking the table with his foot to get like this drum beat going. And he's like, what do you think of that? And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And then we just had this riff, and then next thing you know, Ready for a Good Time was written, which was just like crazy how it all came together really fast. It was like a couple of hours.
How did the Montana's connection come about?
What were you going to say?
How did the Montana's connection come about?
You know, as bizarre as this sounds, I just got an email, and the email went to my website, like, song Ready for a Good Time, and we want to talk to you about purchasing a license to put it in our TV and radio ads. And I mean, I get lots of random bogus emails and messages all the time. So you never know what's real and what's not real, you know. But this one had some, you know, some details to it. And so I was actually in a bar in Northern Ontario having a beer, watching a Leaf game. And I looked down at my phone, and I saw this message, and I thought, what? So I called the guy 10:30 at night. I figured if he emailed me at like 10:15, and I thought if he's going to email me at 10:15, he's going to answer his phone at 10:30. So I called him up, and he was surprised to hear from me directly. And I just straight up asked him, I'm like, what's this about? And he's like, oh, well, you know, some of the higher ups at our company are big fans of yours, and they love your song Ready for a Good Time, and they think it'd be a perfect fit for the Montana's branding. And at the time, they didn't say Montana's. They said they think it'd be perfect for a barbecue chain in Canada. You might have heard of them. They're called Montana's. And I just thought, come on, man, there's no way this sounds crazy. And they said, so how much would it cost? And I said, I have no idea. Because, you know, I've been taught to say that. And and I called my lawyer. It's kind of funny. I called my lawyer, Paul Sanderson. He's an amazing, amazing man. And I said, hey, man, can you talk? And he's like, you're not in jail, are you? Getting a call 11 o'clock at night. And we still joke about that. And I said, no, I said, I got this email. We don't get letters anymore. I got this email, and, you know, Montana's wants to buy a license to my song. I'm like, this is crazy. And he was like overwhelmed with excitement too. And he said, well, I'll call them up in the morning and see how serious they are. And he called them up, and he called me back that morning, and he said, David, he said, they're very serious. And not only do they want a license to your song, but they want to make you the Montana guy. And I'm like, what does that even mean? And so
hopefully not your head on a wall.
Yeah, they were going to put like a picture of me on the menu and all this stuff. And it was just bizarre. You know, it was incredible. And unfortunately that contract started in 2020 of January. So, you know, the song made it to the commercials and on television and the radio. And but unfortunately there was a lot of other plans that got put on hold due to the current affairs. So, yeah, I mean, it was literally that simple.
Is that still ongoing, your relationship with them?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we've kind of put. I can't talk about too much stuff because but they have some stuff lined up for when things get back to where they it'll be safe to have shows and stuff, and we're going to be doing some stuff together. So I'm very very grateful for that relationship, and it literally fell out of the sky. I mean, I don't know anybody at Montana's. I don't have any connections at Montana's. It literally just fell out of the sky.
When I think of country music, I immediately think of Nashville. When I think of country music in Canada, I immediately think of Alberta. You're an Ontario guy. What's the country music scene in Ontario compared to the rest of the country out west?
I mean, I think there's country fans everywhere, Scott. Mm-hmm. I think no matter where you live, I get the question all the time: how does a country artist, rise from Toronto? And I mean, we don't choose where we're born. You know what I mean? We're just born. We're brought into the world, and we just kind of figure out our way. I just happen to be from a big metropolitan city, very multicultural, one of the best cities in the world. Artists from Toronto. I think it's just bringing more awareness, to the city with country music. Every time Budweiser Gardens, the old Molson Amphitheater, has a country concert, it's sold out. Yep. So we can't say there's no country fans in Toronto, right? They're everywhere. It's just a matter of, I mean, I said this in an interview I did last week. Who would have thought one of the biggest hip hop stars in the world, is from Scarborough? Drake, or one of the biggest pop stars in the world is from Stratford, yeah. Justin Bieber. So the music speaks for itself regardless of location. Right. And I think especially now, once things get back to safety and some kind of normalcy, shows will be sold out in minutes because the fans are dying to get out and see some live music.
Anyone who questions how big country music is in Ontario, I mean, you look at the Boots and Hearts Festival. My family used to share a cottage in Havelock, Ontario.
Oh yeah,
with other families every summer, and we would always be there in August during the Havelock Jamboree, which was, I mean, these people treated it as if it was like Woodstock.
Yeah.
Every summer, it was ridiculous. And we would be outside in the backyard of our cottage and you'd be able to hear the live music. That's how close the cottage was to the Jamboree.
I gotta give a shout out to the Havelock Jamboree and the people of Havelock. I played the Havelock Jamboree in 2019 and it was such an incredible experience. They were wonderful. And same with Boots and Hearts. You're absolutely right. One of the biggest, if not biggest, country music festivals in the country, and it's just incredible. The fans, the people, the environment, the vibe, the atmosphere is just electric, and I can't wait to get back there.
Do you prefer, when you're performing, do you prefer doing like the big live outdoor things, or do you like being in a bar and having that connection with the audience? Or does it,
I just like
you're out there?
I you know what, brother, and I'm not just saying this, I don't care. I mean, I just love to play. Of course, we love, playing big festivals like Boots and Hearts and Havelock and Music in the Fields. And, yeah, I mean, they're so much fun. But I also love doing songwriter rounds. Dave Woods has an acoustic show that he puts on at the Moonshine Cafe in Oakville, Ontario. It only holds about 60, 70 people, very, very similar to the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. And, it's, I just love to play, man. I just love to see the fans, and I love to share the music and also be a fan and be out in the audience watching other artists do their thing. So I like them all.
Talk to me a little bit about the new record. I know we don't have a lot of time, but the new album, what can we expect with this? What's your vision for the album when it comes out?
Oh man, I'm so excited. I put a lot of work into this one, and I feel like I'm finally finding my groove as an artist, in the sense of songwriting, performance, getting more comfortable with my voice and letting loose. The record is it's really, really coming together nicely. And Jeff and I and the whole team have been working hard on it. And I made a promise. I made a statement about a month ago, and I promised the fans that it's going to shake the dishes in their kitchen. So it's pretty heavy rock and roll country music with a few songs that touch more on a softer side, but yeah, I'm really excited for it. I've had the opportunity to do some songwriting with some pretty incredible people, and yeah, I'm really excited to share it with the fans.
Any idea when it's coming yet?
It's set to be released in July. We don't have an exact date. We have some tentative dates. I don't want to give those dates just in case, you know, it's late or early, but we're aiming for July. And I've already got 2 of the songs sent to me, mastered and completed. Okay. And it's killing me to not show anybody. But I'm just excited. And you know what? I also want to say the current single, Couldn't Hurt, went out September 25th, 2020. And I just today I got an email from Warner saying, you know, 7 new stations picked it up. You know, it's been out for over like 7 months, which is unheard of. And I'm so grateful for that. So Canadian Country Radio has just been so supportive, and I can't wait to get them all this new music.
Any plans yet on going out on the road? Like, has anything been sort of put out there yet, or are you just going to wait until the record comes out?
There are some shows that are booked for September, but you know, just trying to be patient with
see where things go.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we had some stuff booked for May, and it got moved. Everything got moved to September. So currently, if everything goes the way it should, I'm pretty busy in September. So there's
the awards thing in September as well, right?
Oh man, I can't believe that. When I got the email from CMA Ontario for the official invite to perform, I shared it with my family, and they said, remember that time you went there 3 years ago and you were trying to sneak into the after party because you like didn't know anybody and like nobody would let you in? And I said, yeah, I do remember that. And it's like, now you're performing there. And I'm like, that's just wild to me. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Very humbled by the nomination for Male Artist of the Year. I mean, it's just crazy to see my name up there with, you know, the likes of Tim Hicks and Andrew Hyatt, just to name a few. You know, very, very humbling. You know, very, very, very. It's gonna be a really special night, regardless of what happens.
I expect you, after you perform, to be at the back door letting people in that are trying to
get. Yeah, for sure. They'll that'll probably happen. If not letting them in, my dad will be trying to like climb the fence to get in.
Whatever.
He's known to do stuff like that.
I want to thank you for being with us. It was a pleasure talking to you. I wish you the best of luck with the new record, with the award especially as well. Much appreciated. I'm sure we're going to be hearing your name a lot more going down the road.
Scott, I appreciate that, man. And as always, I always like to thank people like yourself for putting out platforms like this for artists like myself and other artists across the country. It really means a lot to have the support and platform to share my music. So very grateful for that. So thank you.
Happy to do so. Thank you so much, David. Take care of yourself.
Take care, buddy.